A big hello from the entire Cracked family. Well, it's a very proud day for us as Cracked has gotten featured into Times of India for receiving global recognition from Ivey Publishing. My name is Charul Chandak, and just like you, even I have a lot of questions about our journey we have had so far and what are our future plans. So, to get answered all our questions, we have our very own co founder, Debojit Sen, with us. And let's get answered all our questions from him right away. So thank you, Debojit, for coming on board. We are glad to have you here. Before we start out, I just want to know how are you feeling about this moment, about the journey we have had so far, and this particular achievement of getting recognized by Ivy Publishing.
Thank you so much, Charul, for arranging this. Of course, the feeling is very good. It's a very, very happy feeling to see that our journey, our mission is getting recognized by global publishing houses and also by Times of India today. But I think the most important part still remains that we have taken a very, very small step in the mission, which is very large as compared to what our country is. So although the feeling is very good, but I still know that this is just the very first small step that we have taken.
And particularly about you, Debojit, like since I am also an MBA student and I am going to enter into the industry a couple of years down the line, I want to understand that since you've come from a diverse set of industries, what was your motivation behind getting into edtech and why CrackEDit?
So I think the answer goes back to how I was brought up and the realization that eventually at the end of the day, irrespective of your technical skills, what becomes important is whether you are able to express what you already know. And that I saw during my school days, during my college days, during my MBA days. Although I've, yes, worked with media also, in auto tech also, in e-commerce also, and in education also, I realized that if I have to make an impact in something, it has to be related to my strengths. And my strengths were always in mentoring people, upskilling people, helping them realize their dreams. And there was a huge white space there also. When we see the number of graduates in our country being unemployed, and even the employed ones not necessarily having all the skills that could tick the boxes of performance in a corporate job. So that's why Cracked, very early days now. But yeah, the mission, as I mentioned, is very, very large.
Right. So can you help us delve into the mission even more? Like, what is it? Why is Cracked different than all the edtechs which are coming in today's world?
So if you ask me about the mission, I am not looking too far. It's one step at a time. So right now it's about touching 1 million lives by 2025, which we have numerically tried to give us a goal so that we are at least moving in that direction over the next 24 to 28 months. The vision, of course, is to put skills over degrees on the world map. Eventually, through my career and even beyond that, if you can put in this realization in the education systems of the developing and underdeveloped countries, that soft skills, life skills are a very, very critical factor when we are upbringing a child. That's where the company eventually wants to reach to, starting with India. In terms of USPs, all our education, all our learning is very, very experiential in nature. Everything is live, all the activities, all the assignments, every feeling or experience that we want to give to the children is very highly linked to the corporate jobs that they will get into, or even the entrepreneurial stint that they will get into. So it's more experience rather than sessions or education that we are trying to give, and hopefully we'll be able to make an impact.
Sure. And specifically for students who are in their mid-20s and are hustling in their careers, what impact can they expect in their careers before and after joining CRACKEDit?
So the biggest thing, Charul, here is realizing your true potential. When you're starting out your career, a lot of times we tend to follow the herd, saying that, okay, I want to get into, let's say, a software job, or I want to get into a very basic sales operations or marketing job because most of your friends or most of your colleagues are doing it. What Cracks helps them identify is to see what their superpower is right from their childhood. All of us have certain things that we are very, very good at, just that we don't sharpen it enough, or enough people have not told us to pursue that. And thus we don't show the courage to eventually pursue that in our careers. If we can identify that superpower and then sharpen it with the help of great body language, great tonality, great written, verbal, listening, and reading communication, along with fantastic storytelling and negotiation. And by the way, all the words I'm taking again are soft skills. It helps people do really well in their lives. I mean, I have worked for more than a decade in the corporate space, and I know that I would not be at my best in those maybe 10, 12 years when I was not doing what my superpower is. And if a very, very ordinary person like me can even start in the path of their dreams, then there is so much talent in our country where everyone can pursue their dreams if they are confident in expressing them. So that's the difference I want to bring, which is confidence in pursuing your own dreams.
Right. And I just want to pick up one more question from your Debojit. When you were saying that you have had a long corporate journey, what have you experienced? Like, what are the gaps people generally have in their mid-career also, which they actually would want to uplift and, improve, and Crack can help them do that?
See, the first biggest challenge is to get into a good job. When I look at the tier 2, 3, 4 city students of our country, they don't have access. They don't have information of what kind of jobs can they get into. So the first thing Cracked helps them is to give them that access to say that, okay, these are the various kinds of profiles and jobs across various sectors, various roles that is open for you. And therefore you can get into them. Once they've worked for a few years, multiple other challenges start coming in where Crack helps them. Things like how to become a great manager, how to become a great people leader in your first assignment, right? Things like how to do stakeholder management across corporate, across customers, across seniors, across colleagues, across juniors, that eventually helps them grow in life. Things like upskilling even in their technical capability. Now, if you want to become a brand manager, you can get into it by knowing basics of marketing. But post that, you need to know multiple other facets of marketing in order to keep growing in your career. And that's true for every profession that's there. So Cracked opens their eyes to first get into the corporate world and then eventually grow into the corporate world by knowing the right skills at the right time for growth to happen.
That sounds wonderful. And yeah, I mean, I do understand there's a very long way to go, but what would be one final message from your end to all the students, teachers, corporate trainers, corporate partners, mentors, and everybody who's been a part of the Crack family?
No, first of all, I want to thank all of them for being part of the journey till now. We have close to 50 odd corporates that work with us, hire from us on a daily basis. We have close to 500 colleges that have been associated with us for placements as well as upskilling. We have close to 4,500 students that have gotten benefited by Crack programs in the last 1 year. And it's just been 1 year. We have close to 100 odd trainers, including freelancers and full-time trainers that are training with us. And of course, the Cracked Army, as I call it, where we have more than 50 employees who are taking this mission forward on a daily basis. So first, thanks to them for putting in their heart out and blood and sweat for the brand in order to take it forward. The journey has just started, and I welcome thousands of more of these partners to come and associate with us because our country has a lot of talent. Just like we saw in the India-Pakistan match yesterday, that just 11 people can actually demolish any opposition. It's not about just Pakistan if they decide to work on their full potential. And there is similar talent in close to 140 crore Indians that we have. Can we actually address that and make it really big together is the question. And therefore, thank you. And I welcome the future partners also to come and associate with us.
Thanks a lot, Debojit. That sounds wonderful. We all are very pumped up, and I'm very certain that this is just the start, and we have many more milestones to go. So thanks for coming on board, and thank you for this chat.
Thank you, Charul. My pleasure. Thank you.